Is it logically possible that there's ever been a woman who's been essayed who'd enjoyed it?
I am not going to.
Can you answer my question?
No.
Is it logically possible?
I'm not ascribing anything to that.
Do you think there's ever been a single woman who's been essayed and has enjoyed it?
I'm not going to answer the question.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
But because then I can't say some people.
I'm not going to answer
Yeah.
whether women enjoy being great.
That's not what I asked you.
Whether a woman has enjoyed being great.
If there's ever been one. Do you think there's ever been one?
No, I'm not answering.
You don't think there has been?
I don't know, and I'm not going to answer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to answer.
Because you
I'm
know.
not going to. This is such a weird thing. This is such a weird thing
What's
to get on
wrong with answering
about.
the question?
Because I'm not going to contribute to rhetoric that tries to say that there is anything good about SA.
Who said there's anything good about it?
You just said that some women orgasm, therefore that is a good.
What's up, YouTube? Well, apparently my boy Andrew Wilson just got into some trouble. There's a clip that's been going around on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and on Twitter that says that Andrew Wilson is okay with sexual assault, or that Andrew Wilson promotes sexual assault. And of course this stuff is being pushed by a bunch of feminists on these apps as a way to demonize him. Now, I never looked at the video because I've dealt with these feminists on these apps before, and I know they can be completely disingenuous, and if you disagree with some of their talking points, they will go out of their way to paint you to be a sexual degenerate, even when they're the ones that are promoting sexual degeneracy. So I never really looked even into it too far, but I'm sure Andrew Wilson is going to tell us his side of the story in this video, so let's get right into it.
So I went viral again.
Oh no.
For like the 900th time. This time driven by people who are absolutely horrible and lying through their teeth for no good reason
Andrew
at
went
all,
viral.
except to attempt to defame me. So I did what I always do. Wait until it hits a fever pitch and every insane feminist on planet Earth covers it without doing an ounce of research or due diligence, and then wreck them all with the truth. You could make the case that, like, is bad for certain people.
No.
For certain people.
No, it's bad for everyone.
No, it's only bad for certain people. Here,
Andrew.
like, there's women, you agree, who have orgasmed during SA. Our story starts with a debate I did on whatever podcast with Oliver Nigh, a progressive Omegle debater known for making dishonest clips to demonize his debate opponents due to the fact that he himself was caught up in a significant sexual controversy.
Oh,
the main allegation
Ollie
you probably heard
boy.
is that I exposed myself to an underage girl without her consent. Now, it is indeed true that I exposed myself to a 15-year-old girl over FaceTime when I was 17.
In the debate with Niehaus, I pointed out that he was continuously referencing the term some people when he was actually referencing the vast majority of a group, which is a very dishonest debate tactic.
Yes, it is dishonest. And this always happens with these types of people. Like, I'm in the red pill space, and there are these guys that will pander to women. Like, there was a guy, you guys might not remember him, but a couple years back named Derek Jackson. He was making like $150,000 a month promoting his shitty books and like giving women advice as to not tolerate a man that doesn't give you everything, essentially really pandering to female emotions and just telling women what they want to hear. And this guy goes on to cheat on his wife, whom he'd been with since high school, and he repeatedly cheated on her, by the way. And this was a guy that was pandering to women, and for a little bit, he got canceled and he had to disappear for a few months, but now he's back and bigger than ever, and he has a whole new female audience, and he's pushing his books again like it never even happened. Like, you get guys like Destiny who will go out and tell and be like, oh, the red pill guys are the bad guys, and then they're always in some type of sexual degenerate issue where because they're sexual degenerates and they're pushing this stuff everywhere, they end up doing it with the wrong person, and because their belief around consent is so strict, these women have a lot of leverage, especially on their side of the aisle, to paint themselves to be the victim in some of these cases. But in Destiny's case, he was making that woman be the victim. So, I just think that I think that it's really interesting that these people will try to make it seem like we're the bad ones. But when you look at actual actions and what people are doing, oftentimes it's the panderers and the people on the left, the male feminists, that end up having some skeletons in their closet.
I think it depends on the individual woman and what she wants. Some people don't want to have that much sex. Some people just don't.
That doesn't answer my question definition.
Some people aren't.
They conflate it with the scientific definition.
Some people are also with social, though.
But I demonstrated this by creating a hypothetical where if it were the case that a single SA survivor didn't have a bad experience with SA, would it then be fair to say that we could reference that when a person had this horrible thing happen and say, well, some people don't enjoy that. To break it down more formally, I asked Oliver, is it logically possible a single SA survivor exists who enjoyed the experience? Oliver's response, sure, yes. When you say for some people, right? The reason you keep saying that is because even though it's the vast overwhelming majority of people, you want to like create this little minutia outlier, right? Is it logically possible that there's ever been a woman who's been SA'd who'd enjoyed it?
Oh.
I'm not going to.
Can you answer my question? Is it logically possible?
Logically possible? Sure.
Oops, Oliver. My position back. Then don't you think it's dishonest if I were to frame that way? Because if a single person exists, I could then say, well, only some people don't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's it. And every time that I debate a feminist, they use the exact same talking point. When you talk about the biological differences between men and women, you'll go, are men stronger than women? And then they'll go, well, there are some women that are stronger than some men. So they'll use the outlier to try to push their message. And because there's one woman somewhere that's stronger than some men, not the strongest man, but they're stronger than some men, they'll conclude that the only reason why women aren't biologically equal to men is because women aren't socially developed or socially told or socially encouraged to be stronger. If women were socially encouraged to be stronger, they could be biologically just as strong as men. That's kind of where they will try to lead the conversation by being disingenuous and pointing out that there's an outlier. Like you could literally say being 500 pounds is unhealthy, and they're going to go, well, there was one guy that, you know, it actually helped him in one case, and that'll be like the crutch of their entire argument. Andrew's right. This does happen, and I was surprised to see that it was this debate where this situation happened, because I watched clips from this debate, and it was an absolute bloodbath. Andrew just steamrolled this guy and walked all over him, and I think you guys should go check it out. It's 5 hours long. So
this made Oliver upset as he was caught in a basic logic trap where he ended up conceding the point. Answer the question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
Because then I can't say some people.
I'm not going to answer whether women enjoy being.
That's not what I asked you.
Whether a woman has enjoyed being.
If there's ever been one. Do you think there's ever been one?
No, I'm not answering.
You don't think there has been?
I don't know, and I'm not going to answer.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to answer.
Because you
I'm
know.
not gonna, this is a weird thing. This is such a weird thing to get on.
What's wrong with answering the question?
Because I'm not going to contribute to rhetoric that tries to say that there is anything good about SA.
Who said there's anything good about it?
You just said that some women orgasm, therefore that is a good of it.
No.
Oh,
I was running an internal critique and saying if it is the case of X, then Y. That's not me advocating for that position. Don't lie.
See, Andrew, you got to be careful, though. You have to be careful. And I've seen people go down this road. This guy is clip farming you, and that's something you might not know that much about because, you know, you might be a little bit older and you're in the field of debating. But if this man is just in the field of trying to smear your name and getting small clips for his TikTok to grow his 80,000 people following over on TikTok, then he's just going to try to be disingenuous to get you to say things so he can clip it up and post it. And the biggest issue is, and this is why you got to be careful about it, it's going to be a net negative for your brand because although you have a lot of people that watch you on YouTube and that actually stick around for your long-form debates, most of the people are going to see you through short-form content. So when you give people the leverage or you say things that might give people the ability to clip farm off of you and rage bait off of what you say, there are going to be a lot of people that see just the small clips of what you say who have maybe seen other small clips of things you said and agreed with you. They've never really tuned into a full debate, so they don't really know your worldview and they don't really get the crux of who you are. They don't know that you're married to a woman, you know, you got 5 kids, you're a married man. Like, they don't know that. And so when these guys do these clips, they want to paint you out to be a bad guy. And there are a lot of people who hear your message and even sometimes agree with you, but there are a lot of people that also want a reason to hate you. And if you give them these clips, they're going to have more of a reason to hate you, and they're going to hold them over your head forever. So it can have a negative effect on your brand because a lot of people do watch the shorter clips, and more people will probably watch the shorter clips than the full debates that Andrew have. This is a 5-hour debate, so it's easy to get a small 20-second clip that can paint you out to be a bad person. And some people, especially these younger guys on TikTok, clip farming is huge. And it's how they grow their base and rage base. So you got to be careful with that.
That's one. And two, when we move into this, right, here's what I'm saying to you. And I'll ask this question again. Do you think that there's been at least one woman who's ever existed that was SA'd and liked it?
I don't know.
You don't
that's
think,
a
what
clip.
do you
Yeah,
think?
that's a good. That's a
I
clip.
don't know. I'm not going to answer that question,
Yeah,
Andrew.
because then I could say,
Because I'm not
then
gonna-
I could say, well, why make the prescription shouldn't have say,
No,
because
I'm
some
not
people
going to.
don't like it.
No.
Yeah. At that point, I began mocking him for his absurd logic. You see, Oliver dishonestly cut a video, which is me making fun of him for his dishonest tactics, which led to this absurd conclusion. Now, far be it from me to point out how awful Oliver's logic is, and that he could end up accidentally categorizing people who are on the receiving end of this horrible experience and marginalize them by saying only some people don't like it.
Yeah.
But in this case, even from the feminist standpoint, I'm the good guy. But what did Oliver do? Well, he decided to selectively edit the clip to make it look like I was endorsing a thing I was making fun of him for, which he contributed to with his faulty logic. And feminists actually ran with this.
Yeah. Yeah, of
They
course.
actually ran with this.
Of course.
You could make the case that, like, is bad for certain people.
No.
This grown 50, 60-year-old man really sat there and said, rape is not bad for every woman because some of them orgasm.
Why?
Absolutely,
Why?
because there are overriding harms than just orgasm.
Do you know what your kids are watching on the internet? This is the kind of slop your young teenage boys are watching. That's Andrew Wilson of the Whatever podcast, which is a podcast that is meant to demean.
No, what you're making is slop because it's a 20-second clip. And if there was a kid, which nobody's audience in the quote-unquote red pill is kids. My audience, my main audience base is from 25 to 35. So we have very much like adult. I don't even really have people under the age of 18 from my demographic profile from what I can see on the back end. What she's pushing out is slop. It's 20-second clips that rot kids' brains. If there was a 18-year-old or a 17-year-old that could sit through a 5-hour discussion about ethics around feminism, I would actually be pretty impressed about their attention span, especially in the modern climate. But
women.
It's my theory that they did this because they are really stupid. Did no due diligence, like taking 5 minutes to check the facts, and also because they are just fundamentally dishonest people who hate me. Now, all of you feminists owe me an apology. I never did the thing you claim. And all of you are lying through your teeth in a campaign of personal destruction based on something that never even happened. So to the crew, show everybody this video. Also, to any of the feminists that think for a second these are my views or that the video you are presenting is legitimate, I challenge you all to a live debate on the platform of your choosing to defend your false claims.
yeah, they're not going to do that because they're cowards. And they're good for 20-second clips in a way where they can make you look bad. But over the long form, if anybody goes to watch that full podcast, I haven't even seen the full 5 hours, but I have seen about 20 to 15-minute segments that whatever clips post and they pop up. And just from what I've seen, Andrew wiped the floor with this guy. And if you take a second to look at it, you'll see. But see, this is what I'm saying, though. Okay, so responding to the feminist lies. What is this? 25,000 views. Nobody's going to see this. So as Andrew's clearing his name, and I thought he did a pretty good job at clearing his name, it's just not going to be enough people that see it. So if you guys want to go push this video or push whatever video, or, you know, at least you guys have a little bit more ammo to say it's not true. This happens all the time. These people are completely disingenuous. Andrew's been on a killing streak recently. The brother he probably has a nuke by now. He has a tactical nuke by now in terms of his kill streak. So the guy is just doing absolutely well. And this is the moment where people are going to start to try to attack your character, especially because they're not really beating him in the one-on-one debates, at least the ones that I've seen. But you guys can go check out the debate for yourselves. And shout out to the Whatever podcast for hosting the debate. Shout out to Andrew Wilson for being willing and able to defend your name. But let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's a Help Brother Out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.